'83 Honda 500 Shadow. I don't know why we didn't do this before, but let's go ahead and get these rear. Let's see, this has to go counterclockwise. It's gonna be tough. Let's go ahead and get these guys out so we can get this rear subframe off. There we go. That's loose with 14 hex. Very loose. Coming right out of there. I think the other side's the same. Okay, there's that guy. Set that somewhere. Once we get these loose, there's tape over it. Tape because they lost the cover, I guess. Okay. Nope, that's way smaller. Okay, one of these. This side's 10 hex. And you can just go in there and start turning that out. And this guy's gonna fall right off, basically, when we get this loose. There's your locking nut there. But basically, we can just turn this the whole way out. And then there goes the rear subframe. Swing arm. And then this guy, make sure that comes off of there before I get it out, because that's going to get stuck in there. And then I'm going to have to get it off later. Come on, get loose. Wiggle out of there. Huh, it's stuck in there pretty good. Use a different way. So there's your rear subframe bolts on both sides. And then if you want to just get this off, just knock it loose. Just get it out of that area. The elbow is still in there holding it in, but we can wiggle it free. There goes our drive shaft. I'm still holding this. Yeah, it's just wedged in there. I'll be able to get it out. If I don't use my foot and kick it, I'll make it work. There's the elbow I was telling you about. That can come out. Oh man, it's greasy. Greasy and dirty. There's your elbow. And that has mating surface for this. This is your drive shaft. Goes back to your rear differential. So that stuff goes there. And this is obviously going to fall out if I do anything different with it. And then there's your bolts that hold that all together. And then you can go around here. There's a hose clamp I dropped in there. See that down there? And then you can get your rear brake arm. That usually, there's probably something still connected there. You usually pop that through from here with a hammer. We'll see if anything is connected yet. Probably not. You have to make room for it. Your switch is still connected here. So we still have the brake switch there. And we'll keep going. Engine removal. We have 12s and 14s. That should be easy. There we go. That's just a mount up here. That's bigger. That's a 14. Down there, I think that's a 14. Yep. I think everything else is out on this side. We already have a socket on this side. And let's not lose my 12. We're gonna put it up there where it's gonna fall off. All right. 14 nut here. It's gonna spin on the other side. There we go. There's my nut. And then, I think that's pretty much it. This slides through. Oh, back here. 14 there. Again, let's get this nut out of here. We definitely have a 14 on this side somewhere. Did I see that? This is the one that goes through. No, that's not it. Right there. There's our guy, but the nut comes off the other side. And then we pretty much have an engine that could fall out of the frame for us. Go down here. Like I said, you have to hold that on the other side from spinning. There we go. That's out. We'll knock those 2 bolts through, and then we could probably drop this engine out if we wanted to. Easy as that. Since everything else is off already, get this engine out of here. Nothing on top. Do have some hoses that are still connected. This gets knocked out. I did take that off. Yeah. Yeah. No. Still have to pull this off. This guy right here, that looks bigger than a 14. Maybe it is. So we have, that looks bigger than a 14. 15? Okay, so there's 3 engine mounting bolts probably, and then the brackets. 17 for this one. Oh, still have the old 14 on there. Stick those 2 up there, because that's not gonna fall off. There we go. All right, another bolt, another nut. Okay. All right, engine mount bolts out. We got the long one on the bottom, semi-short one from the front up there, and then the shorter one in the back. This one had 2 spacers, and all that's out. So I don't know, there's engine mount bolts with spacers. Like I said, all the oil's out of this thing basically. So I don't want to drop this on my pan, because then that destroys them. So we're gonna get that out of there. Like I said, these coolant lines are still holding on. So let's just remove those clamps and pull that up, and then this engine, wait a second. Here's a bolt. What's this bolt doing? No, that's fine. That's not holding anything in. There's that bolt. That's out. What is this? This isn't, there's all kinds of random stuff laying in this engine. But yeah, I'll remove these clamps. And then if we wanted to, we can just drop this thing over. Continuance from another video. Here's the side cover. We could pull this off right now, but I wanted to keep it clean. So there we go. There's the rotor in there. Alternator in here. Well, that's the stator. This is all the alternator. Gears fell out. Starter gears in there, I believe. We could pull that off as we go. And then this is a pretty light engine. You should have help or have a cart or something to move it around, but it's light enough. Little 500 Shadow. And we should set this up next to my Virago 500 engine and see the difference. But right now, Shadow engine ready to come out. Pop those lines, those coolant lines off, and wiggled this down through. So now we have a thermostat housing and a thermostat, and the upper coolant cap and filler. Whoop! Oh, I didn't know that was still had coolant in it, but apparently it does. Must have been sitting up here in the base of this. All right, so there's that. Engine is getting sparse. Set that over here with our other stuff. And then basically, if I laid this over, it would fall right out. We don't have a lower member for the frame to come out, but it is pretty rusty, so I could probably just break this off if I wanted to at this point. That might be fun. Just whack it a few times and let the engine fall if I really wanted to. Here is our RPM gauge line. We'll take that off. It's through that little bracket there. Got to take all this off. If I laid this over, I probably wouldn't be getting it back up because of the no rear on it anymore. So, I don't know, guys. We could probably take some more stuff off, take this side cover off, which if I remember doesn't have any bolts in it because I took them out. So we could remove that, show you what's on the inside there. Remove the, we could take this apart in the engine or in the frame where it sits. Oh, I love taking off reusable stuff like this. Yeah, I got a lot of these, obviously. And I'm a pack rat, so I keep them all. I keep everything I find on these bikes. And then I forget to label stuff. And then it just sits around. Down there's our spark plug hole. There's where our coolant goes through. See down there in the passages. Yep, coolant flows through there. Spark plug down in there. Wait, no, that's not the spark plug hole, is it? Wait, isn't it? Oh yeah, spark plug's angled over there. I thought I wasn't wrong. Okay. All right, so anyway, we don't usually get buyers for old engines as they are, so I don't really worry about them being exposed to the elements because a lot of times they are anyway. What was I looking at? This thing doesn't, or does, still has the starter sitting in there. So there's the starter for this thing down there in the middle. Yep, we'll continue. All right, I just found another engine mount bolt down in here. Down right there, there's the nut. And here, I think I'm gonna pull this out, pull this out, pull this out, and we can hopefully get this whole thing out of the way. So this looks like 12s. That looks like a 10. These look like 12s, and then that's probably a 14, probably. All right, so I'm gonna pull those out quick. Guys, I'm embarrassed, but I just realized that we do have a subsection of the frame. It's on this side. It's on the passenger side. So I took those out and it moved. I was like, oh, what? Yeah, right here. This is our subsection of the frame. So if this is in good shape, we can sell that. These don't look great, but it's probably an 8 or 6 millimeter hex. And I don't know where I put my hex sockets. So I'll find them and pull them out. And then this engine will basically fall out of here. It's exactly what it was, a 6. Oh, there's the socket I had in my hand. But 6 hex for those. And then, as I said, she just kind of dropped out, and now she's just holding on to, basically, right there. That bracket is pretty much everything that's hanging out here yet. So if I would pry that off, boop, this guy's gonna fall. Well, that bracket was holding on my rear brake, so that came off right there. So there's our brake arm. I was wrong. This is not resting on the subframe because this is pretty much loose, and I can pull that right off. Here are some washers sitting there, so we'll save them. And then the subframe can just come off. We're still hanging on to the back lower mounting bolt. So there, subframe for sale. This one actually looks good. There's oil on it, but I'll clean it up. It does look solid, and I put the bolts back in. So subframe comes with mounting bolts, and then I'll put them in here too, so we have all the bolts. Not even sure what, hold on. Looks like those are welded, so we can't really do that. That would just be nuts floating around with this thing. So, all right. So the engine now is just hanging on by that back mounting bolt, held on by a 12 millimeter, I believe. Oh, there's our subframe. Set that over there randomly. So I have the 12 socket in my hand, and my other hand is gross. So here's the 12 socket, and I believe this is a 12 down here. Nope, probably a 14, and then our engine is free to do what it wants. Now we got the engine out. She can do her thing on the ground. Yeah, I guess I had a little bit of oil left down in there. Probably in the filter because I didn't drain it from the oil pan. So she's out. She's light. We can work on taking the front end off. You can disconnect some of these things. There. Is that gonna fit down through there? I'm gonna force it. There we go. There's our tachometer. The, what is this? Clutch lever is still connected. So need to disconnect that. And then we're gonna basically be down to pulling off little rubber pieces that are probably shot. Yeah, that one's broken. That one's broken. Pretty much that's gonna be it for this thing. Here's our stator. Nope. Here's our stator wire, which actually looks beautiful. They do not often look like that on a Honda. Okay, well that's impressive. And yeah, I'll see how long I have this video going. Maybe we'll include taking the front end off. It's not that involved. Start with this nut to get this guy off the top. And loosen these two up, which, do I still have that? It's probably still a 6 hex, just like the frame, subframe. Cool. Well, we got a lot done today. This one's going to be ready for the scrap real soon, and then we'll start listing parts.